As we approach the November 8th general election, Vicksburg Daily News encourages you to learn more about the candidates as we present Coffee with the Candidates. A very special thank you to Daniel Boone, Leslie Silver, and the staff of the Highway 61 Coffee House on Washington Street in historic downtown Vicksburg.
Thank you so much for joining me today on Coffee With. You can probably hear around us there are a lot of people. We have a political candidates forum going on, and I'm happy to interview someone right now that I'm sure you'll recognize, Sheriff Martin Pace. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
So you're running for sheriff again for Warren County.
That's correct.
And how long have you been the sheriff, Martin?
I've been the sheriff since 1996. I'm completing my 4th term.
That's a pretty long time.
It is. It's been an honor and a privilege to be able to serve the people and quite frankly to do what I love to do.
And what were you before you became the sheriff?
I worked for the sheriff's office. Actually, originally I was a state park ranger for 2 years, from 79 to 81 as I was completing my undergraduate degree at University of Southern Mississippi. Moved back to Vicksburg in 1981, and I have had the opportunity to work in every division of the sheriff's office. I worked in the jail for a while, worked in court services, I worked as a uniformed deputy for years, was a narcotics interdiction officer for a while on the interstate, and then was a detective. And I was actually a detective or an investigator with the sheriff's office up until 1996.
Martin, what do you think would be different about this term than your other terms that you've served as you think about running for this office again as the incumbent? I mean, obviously you have a lot of experience, but you've been at this for a long time now, and I'm sure learned a lot of things in the process, not just as the sheriff, but in other positions that you've held. What will be different about this term if you are reelected?
I think it's a continual learning process. You can always do better. We can do better. You learn by your mistakes. You learn that this doesn't work as well as that, or that didn't work as well as this. And I think with the upcoming term, we're looking at crime trends. We've been able to modernize the department in a lot of ways, computerizing our reporting system. That database has allowed us to cross-search, research crimes and crime patterns, using biometric technology for identification of wanted persons. There's a lot of things that we've been able to do, but at the same time you have to look at what the crime trends are, what the patterns are. So you have to continually strive to improve. I want the sheriff's office tomorrow to be just a little better than it was today.
I know there's been a lot of discussion in the last few months about a correctional facility needed for Warren County, and I know that in many regards that involves the Board of Supervisors more than it does you personally, but I would like to know, and I think a lot of people want to know, where you weigh in on that issue.
Well, one of the responsibilities of the elected sheriff in Mississippi is that we supervise the county jail. That county jail is to provide pretrial detention for felonies, whether they're arrested by the sheriff's department or some other agency. We're to provide misdemeanor cell space for the county court system, such as justice courts and actual county court, and for the municipal courts for misdemeanors, for drunk and disorderly and things like that. Then we also should provide some space for state inmates to be used as a workforce within the community. And unfortunately, our jail is not able to fulfill that function. I have reported that to the Board of Supervisors, as have the grand juries. That actually is the involvement of the sheriff's office, is to report the inadequacies, which we have done. I feel personally that each county should be able to have a jail facility within that county to provide the needs and services for that county. I don't think it's appropriate for a county to have to farm out their jail services to other counties, which is in fact what we've been doing. So I've pointed out all of those inadequacies to the Board of Supervisors. They're well aware that we have lost our state certification. We can no longer house state inmates, therefore we have no work program. We cannot house misdemeanors because we can't commingle misdemeanors with felons, and we are at 100% capacity with felons. So where we need to be providing several services, we are essentially providing one, and that's the pretrial detention. That said, it's up to the Board of Supervisors to make a decision. I, along with every grand jury for many years, have reported these shortcomings of our jail, but ultimately, if it's my challenge to continue to operate the jail that we have, I will do so in the most efficient manner possible, the safest manner possible, to provide a service to this community. But if the Board of Supervisors does choose to either expand the facility that we're currently in or build a new facility, that I would hope that it would be a facility that would meet the current state standards, and that it would be a facility large enough to house the needs of the local community and not have to farm out these services to other counties.
Sure, which is what y'all are having to do right now.
Which we're doing now.
Okay, so all that professional stuff is great, but tell me about, I know a few things about you. I hear you sing every now and then, and know you have a lot of fun doing that. Of course, we all know Kim and the job that she has, but tell us a little bit about yourself. I think people are really interested to know the Martin Pace behind the badge.
Kind of what you see is what you get. I grew up here in Vicksburg, grew up in the First Presbyterian Church, and I've served in several capacities there, including deacon and elder in the church. I'm a very active member in the church. Been married for years. My wife and I enjoy riding a motorcycle. I left my wedding on a Harley.
Did your wife leave her wedding on a Harley?
Absolutely.
Okay, y'all were on the same
we
Harley.
Were on the same Harley.
Okay.
She's never been the pilot. She's always wanted to be the passenger, but we enjoy that. The band that you mentioned, that has been that's been fairly recent, within the last several years, and it's something that I enjoy with some friends of mine, and we'll play in some of the churches and local venues like that. I've been married to the job. I really have. I've been doing this since I was 21 years old. I went to the University of Southern Mississippi obtained a degree in criminal justice. Graduated from the State Law Enforcement Academy many years ago. I have had hundreds of hours of training since then, and the one that I guess that I'm the proudest of is I was selected to attend the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia. And that law enforcement and public service has literally been my life, and with some distractions along the way, such as the motorcycle on a Sunday afternoon, to maintain my sanity.
Of course, we all need that, don't we? Martin, is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to be sure and talk about as we wrap this up?
No, other than something that just is I'm very passionate about, and that is, regardless of who you vote for, get out and vote. We live in the greatest country on earth, that we can select the leadership of our community, we can select the leadership of our nation, but it doesn't work if you don't get out and exercise that vote. There are people that have bled and died to give us the right to choose our leadership, and I think it's a disservice to yourself and to this community and to this country to say, well, I was just too busy to get out that day. Get out and vote.
Thank you so much for coming and joining me today, and good luck to you.
Thank you. God bless you.
We appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration provided by
Amber Sanders from Happy Hair. Get your hair happy at 3402 Wisconsin Avenue.